Had somewhat of a wild week last week. Had a big down move and then a reversal back into a positive trend again, getting back to this trend we had back here. And if you remember, the past couple of weekly reviews, I said that I expect to see weakness, primarily because we've just been pushing these highs up and up and up and hitting new 52-week highs over and over again. And I've been saying that we're too high, and I still feel that way. What I want to do is look a little bit about what happened last week. We got a sell-off here, continued sell-off here. This is the moving average chart. We were right through the 10, 20, 30 EMAs, and we bounced off this weekly trend line. We actually got support at the 30 EMA, which held again into the following day. I was a little surprised by the strength of this down candle here. The follow through as far as a down day did not surprise me, but the length that went to down was a little bit surprising. I really expected the 20 EMA to hold, if not, then potentially the 30, and honestly neither one of them held, even though it did close back above the 30. Again, we've got this trend line here. It's a nice trend line that has held. It's provided both, I drew it, providing both support and resistance, as you can see coming back through here. Let's take a look at one of our other charts. This is the wave chart, and you see that we got right into the middle of the wave, had some consolidation, and went back long. Now, I was actually looking to go long on Thursday on this candle. I had a buy set on some other securities based on the fact that I thought the market was going to go up in this area. I did get long, and right now I look pretty good with those. I was a little surprised by the strength in this candle on a Friday. I don't really know exactly what is going to happen going into next week. I do think this high is going to be hard to beat and to sustain going above it. I still think that we need a more consolidation through here. I don't think this can be continued through this area. Let's take a look at the Bollinger Band chart and get a look at that. We're back over the 1 ATR band, and we're pushing the 2 deviation band already. We had our buy zone right through the mean, which any of you took advantage of that. If you looked at previous videos, if you read my book on swing trading, then you would have seen that this was a perfect buy area and perfect buy opportunity. I did not buy it on the ES, but I did on some other securities that I was trading that are related to it. So I am long the market for the most part right now. I still have a couple of VIX positions, volatility positions that I'm carrying. They're both showing losses right now, but my long positions are doing well, and so are my non-directionals. Let's take a look at a couple of other things. Take a look at bonds, and you're starting to see weakness here, and you're seeing that we're still making lower highs. If we look at this candle, this candle, and this candle, this candle was a little higher than this one. But with a lot of the trade data that's being released and the market's being sent back and forth based on tweets and news. And honestly, most of those tweets and most of that news really doesn't have anything to do with what's going on in the market. It's just people are buying and selling, and there's a lot of hope, I think, that's driving the market up. I really feel that the market overall should be coming down. The highs we're reaching right now, I'd be very concerned about as we reach 52-week highs, as I showed you on the ES. This is a pretty weak candle on bonds. I am short again. I actually got stopped out twice on bonds trying to go long. Did go short again right here below this level. As it pulled back, and I'm short coming down into here. I've moved my stop down to pretty close to break even. So if it moves back above the wave, I'll stop out at break even. If not, I'm going to try to follow it down at least to this level here in this gap, and then a second target close to this trend line. And I do believe that overall bonds will come down, and then we'll see if this trend line holds. And I guess that's the big question: will this uptrend hold, or is this wave pattern here part of the downtrend going to hold? I think long term, I do think we're going to get back to an uptrend, but I don't. We probably won't get it until we get into this area right through here. And these are areas I'd be thinking about taking along if I was looking just at bonds. I'm going to look at the yen EFT today instead of the Forex USD yen. And you can see, we've got a downturn in the FXY. I think that's pretty obvious. We do have support here. I would not be looking to go long here. If anything, I would be looking for a short. However, I'm a little concerned about this trend line right here. So, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of room if you did want to short the yen or short this FXY EFT. There's just not a lot of room there. We're at the top of a daily trend here, and you've got a weekly trend that we're a little bit above. Got a weekly trend here that is held for a while. It broke temporarily right here, but it immediately went back over it. And if we look back at the Bollinger Bands, we're at a 1 ATR. This is an area where it has hit resistance. This was a 2 ATR. It fought over, come down to the 1 ATR resistance, 1 ATR resistance, 1 ATR resistance, all through here. So I think it's more likely that we get a move down. The problem is this trend line. I just don't know how much of a move down we're going to get if we don't break this trend line. If there is some weakness, I might be willing to short it, using the 2 ATR as a stop, but I have to be real careful around this trend line. And if it does appear this trend line is going to hold, then I'll probably just go ahead and close out the position. Going back, let's go back to the ES. So I guess the big question is, what do I think is going to happen now or going into next week? This is a nice candle going up. And as long as there's no news, I think that we are going to continue up. I think there's a good possibility, because there's so much hope in this market, there's a good possibility we will make a new 52-week high next week. But I believe that there's still going to be a tremendous amount of resistance. And if you went long right here, I would probably start looking at taking some profits, moving stops to break even. And if you're not currently long, I would not go long here, even though I do believe that there's going to continue to be some moves up. Now, if you're day trading the ES on Monday, I would probably look for long trades depending on how the market opens Monday. But right now, I would probably be looking for long trades at least through Monday. And after Monday, you really got to evaluate it day for day. If you see a candle like you had right here, this red candle, that should be could be a sign that we're going to be moving back down. If you get some consolidation candles like you had right through here, then you might look for up moves. I'm going to look a little bit for up move and maybe some consolidation on Monday, just because I do believe we will get some resistance at this 52-week high, but I do not believe right now that we're going to get a pullback, at least on Monday anyway. Going throughout the week next week, my view may change on that. Our 1 ATR band has provided, a 2 ATR band has provided good resistance, and we're right up against it again. Yes, it can break through it, and I wouldn't be shocked to see it break through by a little bit, but I don't expect it to run away through it, barring some major announcement. If anything, the announcements, I think, are more likely to drive us back down. I'm real anxious to see if we make a new high, or if we just pivot up a little bit below it and then bounce back down, which is also very possible. Because if you look back even, the previous price action, you got bounces up, resistance, resistance, and then it fell. And this released a lot of steam in the market, and which is a good thing if you're wanting to go long. This took the RSI back down to below 70, so you got a good RSI that you can still trade. Finally, took it out of these plus 70 areas. So yeah, there is some long potential. I don't know how much more good news it would take to drive us up to 3,200. That's a huge psychological barrier. I just, with what's going on and the time of year it is, I'm just not convinced we can hit that yet. Obviously, I look at this each week, and next Friday I may have a different opinion. But I wouldn't go long here, even if it does break above. It's too high risk. Your long was right here if you wanted to go long. This candle was your first sign there could be a long when the buyers came in, and then this was your second candle to go long. I actually took this trade, but this would have been a good one to get into. I was a little late getting in here, so depending on how the market moves, I may or may not make very much money on it. But I would be, like I said, I wouldn't really be looking to go too much higher here if I were trading this today. I would wait for it to pull back. I'd wait for a little more steam to be released, even though it may continue up. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions and if these videos help.